Stay tuned for the biggest fish, the hottest bites, this week here on In-Depth Outdoors. With James Holst and Pat McSharry and the rest of the IDO fishing team. We're headed to the best fisheries across the upper Midwest and Canada. We'll fish longer, explore unfished bodies of water, and go further off the beaten path in search of the hottest bites in fresh water. This is In-Depth Outdoors.
Welcome to another episode of In-Depth Outdoors. I'm Pat McSharry, and on this week's episode, we're headed back to October, where I met up with Adam Rasmussen over in Sturgeon Bay, Door County area of Green Bay, and we chased late fall smallmouth bass. Now, this time of year, those smallmouth bass are the biggest they're going to be other than pre-spawn. So these fish are really putting the feed bag on, they're really aggressive, and you pair that with a new technique that I've never used before, and it made for an awesome day out on the water. So stay tuned, it's Adam Rasmussen and I this week on In-Depth Outdoors. All right, so today Adam Rasmussen and I are on Green Bay in Door County chasing smallmouth bass, and it's really no secret that this is one of the best destinations for targeting trophy smallmouth bass. And right now it's mid-October, and these fish are getting really hungry before the kind of the winter hibernation time, where their metabolism really slows down, and they're putting the feed bag on. So the goal is to put our hands on some really big smallmouths today.
There's one.
Hey, attaboy.
Right where he should have been.
I'm gonna cast in there and get his buddy.
I'll spot lock us. I'm sure there's more. A big one too.
Is it?
Ah, not a giant. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Look at that football.
It's a football. Look at that thing. I don't think I've ever seen one with a belly like that in the fall.
Holy smokes.
Oh my God. Look at that thing. Wow.
That's gotta be like a 6-pounder.
Dude, I've never seen one pre-spawn that's that fat. Look at my hand on it. Wow. That one has a severe eating disorder.
It looks like it has a growth or something.
The thing looks like one of those big blowfish or pufferfish or whatever they are in the ocean. Its stomach's as big as my head. All right, well, let's let him go to eat some more. Apparently he's hungry.
Yeah, he's hungry. I'm surprised he can swim.
I guess that's a good one to start with.
Yeah.
I hope they all look like that. That's awesome. There's one. Big one.
You got one?
Yep. 2 casts in a row.
I might have to put the A-rig on.
Just keep using what you're using back there, Pat.
It's another toad.
Look, this one's got a belly too. Nothing like that last one, but
Go. It's another toad though.
solid 4. Nice healthy fish. It is rocking out here today, but I will say one thing on this lake, wind makes all the difference in the world. So we just got rolling and caught a 7-pounder. This one's 4. Only made a few casts, so looking forward to today. It should be fun. Let this guy go. See ya.
You don't know their names yet, but you will.
At Eskimo, we have the tools to help you enjoy your time on the ice. They say man needs food, clothing, and shelter. When it comes to shelter, we like the Outbreak 450i with its full-size no-trip door that's nearly 74% bigger than a standard door, making it much easier to load and unload. With 75 square feet of fishable area, you'll be warm and comfortable during your day on the ice. Check out the Outbreak 450i and our full line of products at geteskimo.com.
From the first time you pick up a tuned-up custom rod, you'll know you're holding something special. A rod not mass-produced, but built one at a time by the hands of gifted craftsmen. Rods like the Precision, ice fishing's most versatile multi-species rod, or the Precision Noodle with a tip so sensitive you'll never fish a spring bobber again. And the Commander, the rod that's never met a big fish it couldn't best. Tuned-up custom rods. Ice rods handcrafted for you and the way you fish.
This winter, set a trap for your next trophy with iFish Pro. The new iFish Pro 2.0 now offers an insulated base to help keep your ice hole from icing over and an upgraded rod holder for use with longer, heavier rods. Complete your ice fishing arsenal with iFish Pro. Tactical ice gear that puts the fight back into tip-up fishing. Find iFish Pro online at ifishpro.com or at your favorite sporting goods retailer.
There's one. Biggin'.
Attaboy.
We're rigging you up a rig, Pat.
Yeah, I think it's time.
That one just throttled it,
Did
too.
it?
Decent one.
Nice. Beauty.
Looks like he's got braces. Another nice fish. Healthy. You can tell they've all been eating. They've all got those big bellies starting. But that's upper 3, maybe 4 pound fish. It's amazing the numbers of these out on the bay this year. You know, your average size that you're gonna catch are that 3.5 to 5 pound range. I mean, 5 pounders are not uncommon, so it's a lot of fun. We'll get this guy back, and I think we're gonna have to do a little rigging here. See you, dude. Fish on.
Attaboy.
That's a big one.
They're all big.
Been a real solid average so far.
Oh yeah.
Look at that one. I'll just grab him. Got that VMC boxer head in his face coming unbuttoned. Another nice fish.
Heck yeah, the average is awesome.
Yeah, they're all studs. It doesn't, outside of May, this is my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
I mean, May you're gonna catch those real giant fish, but I don't know, the fall bite could be just as good as the spring bite sometimes.
I got one. Oh. I got one.
I was just getting ready to move. I'm like, we need to go to a new spot. You need the net?
No, he's just a little guy.
I knew you could do it, Pat.
Oh, heck. For such a power fishing technique, it's not really like that at all.
No, it's a trick to it.
Yeah.
It's got a little finesse side to it.
Yeah. Just a little guy compared to what Adam's been getting up there in the front of the boat, but that's a start for me. I'll get back in there and see if I can replicate that.
Fish on. It doesn't feel real big. That's a pretty decent one. Nice. Black face on him. They are really pale. I bet this is all a new batch of fish that came in from out deep and moved up to feed. We've had a lot of wind the last 3-4 days, like unfishable out here. And this wind has definitely shoved a lot of fish up on the shoreline structure and stacked them up feeding. All right, see if he's got some buddies.
In-Depth Outdoors, Spot on the Spot ID.
On this week's Spot on the Spot ID, I'm going to be using the Humminbird Fish Smart app to show you the areas that Adam Rasmussen and I were targeting for smallmouth bass in mid-October. And it's a little bit different than in the spring, but still those same areas that you would target these fish early spring into midsummer, you're still going to be near those areas. So here's an instance where this is the Door County Peninsula here. We have Green Bay on our left. This is a small bay where there's going to be some spawning activity going on because the water is going to warm up the fastest. And that might be an area where some of these bass even call home for much of the summer. Now the areas that we're targeting in the fall are going to be just outside of these bays, these shallower water areas. So the main thing is, early in the spring and summer, smallmouth bass on Green Bay are mostly feeding on gobies, and that's where they're going to find a lot of that forage. Now later on in the fall, they're switching over to alewives, and the alewives are going to be closer to deep water, which is why we are targeting these areas that have more access. So the areas that we were targeting, I have highlighted in green, kind of that 15 to 25 feet of water is where a lot of these bass are roaming suspended looking for this forage. So if you're headed out in the fall, find some of those areas that you would normally target spring and summer and just fish adjacent to them where you have more access to that deep water, such as here, and you're gonna get in on some of these great smallmouth bass that Sturgeon Bay is famous for.
Introducing Suffix Advanced Fluorocarbon. A new level of suppleness. A new level of toughness. A new level of sensitivity. A new category of fluorocarbon. Hello, future.
Available in 6 technique-specific models, the new custom series spinning rods from Okuma offer tournament-grade performance at a price all anglers can afford. Built on SCT blank technology featuring a dual helix carbon fiber wrap, Deadeye Custom Series rods offer an ultra-responsive blank that will handle the biggest walleye on your favorite bodies of water. Find the Deadeye Custom Series at your favorite sporting goods store today and see for yourself why Okuma is inspired fishing.
Glacial Lake Stock is your #1 source for Yeti ice houses. With our large inventory of new and used Yetis, our experienced staff will help you select the perfect model for the way you fish. From sale to service, Glacial Lake Stock has you covered. As an authorized Yeti service center, we can handle all your service or warranty needs and work to keep you fishing all winter long. Stop in today or check us out online at glaciallakestock.com and make this ice season your most enjoyable and comfortable ever.
The Boat Center is excited to announce the arrival of the Delta Series by Starcraft Boats. The Delta Series is a premium quality fishing boat that offers refined and highly functional storage, exceptional performance, and a lifetime +6 transferable warranty. All Delta Series boats are available with highly reliable Yamaha outboards. To learn more, stop in today or visit us online, theboatcenter.com. And as always, remember to have fun fishing.
Oh my God, did that one hit it hard. Come on. Got him. Biggin'.
He come back and eat it?
He did. That's the 3rd time he bit it. It's a big one.
Is it? Or do you got 2 on there?
I could. Never know. Get 3 hooks.
Netter? Oh yeah.
Sure, why not? One of those better ones.
Yeah. Perfect. Heavy. That's a 5-pounder.
Beauty, yeah. That boxer head right in his beak. Doesn't get any better than this. I never get sick and tired of catching these smallmouths, and I'm fortunate enough to live here and guide here, and I get to do this a lot, but it's something that never gets old, where other species I'll tend to get bored with. But Pat said he was going to come up and we're going to go chase smallies. I was all in. I had the day off, and it's turning out to be a fun day. So one thing to remember, a lot of these fish, you actually feel them come up and bumping your bait, and you feel that tick. You don't want to set the hook on them. You know, we've got 20-pound fluorocarbon on and long limber rods, so when those fish hit, they'll actually let the rod do the work for you. They'll hit it and just keep reeling, and that rod will load up. And also by doing that, you know, we haven't had it happen yet today, but there's times we've got 3 hooks. You know, in Wisconsin, we can legally have 3 hooks on a bait. You can actually get 2, or I've had it happen a couple times where you get 3 on one cast. And you go through the school and they all come up and peck at it, and you just keep loading the lure up. He came back for it.
That thing ain't getting away.
No, he wanted it. Hungry. Smallest one we've had today. They're not all big. You do catch some smaller ones. Got one, Pat?
Yep.
All right, Pat's got one in the back. Big one?
So that's what that feels like, huh? I don't think it's a run. That's crazy how there can be different nuances with any presentation. I did not expect it to be like this much of a nuance for the umbrella rig, but because it's just such a power technique, you know, you'd think. But man, if you're not having it at the right depth or even the right speed, they won't eat it. They won't touch it.
Looks like a nice one.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those 3-pounders. Maybe not even. There we go. Pop him off. Adam's obviously been schooling me today, but I'm trying to put the program together. But here's all we're using. It's just a 5-bait umbrella rig, and the 2 top baits are just no hooks on them, you know. Wisconsin, you can run 3 hooks, so we got the 2 bottom hooks and then the center hook there, and then the top 2 are just there for show. And you'll get fish that'll come up and hit those, but the goal is to try and get them to eat the center or the bottom 2. A lot of times if they nip that top one, they'll just come and eat one of the other ones too.
Yep, that's when you'll feel them. Tap, tap, I got one.
Got him?
There's a pod of them behind the boat. So we started drifting, and I had one, Pat had one, we hit spot lock, and I immediately cast right behind the boat, and there's a good school of them there. I hooked up right away. That's when it's fun, when they're in schools and you can multiple casts in a row hook up on them. This one's either hook goofy or it might be like a bonus walleye. No, it's just hook goofy. Sometimes you'll get walleyes doing this. Well, we made a move to catch some fish, but our sizes definitely went down the drain.
Yeah, the average size in that first area was awesome.
Yeah, it was. We'll give this a few more minutes and we'll make another move.
Brandel GM in Aiken, Minnesota's only haggle-free Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC dealer, is a proud sponsor of In-Depth Outdoors TV. Our Brandel value price ensures that you don't have to spend your entire day haggling to get a great deal. And every new vehicle comes with our exclusive gimmick-free lifetime powertrain warranty. Whether you're in need of service, sales, parts, or body shop repair, stop by our state-of-the-art facility in Aiken or visit us 24/7 at brandelgm.com.
tracks, down to 20 degrees below zero with the new Ice Defense Pro Series from Cold Nation Outdoors. Lightweight and highly portable, Ice Defense is compatible with all flasher and camera brands. Ice Defense draws in warmer water from below to circulate at the top of your hole, creating a powerful thermoflow to melt away ice, slush, and snow. Spend time fighting the fish, not an icy hole. Ice Defense. Own the cold.
So do you think a lot of these smallmouths are actually suspended right now?
Yeah, I think they're definitely suspended. They're all up here eating on smelt and alewives, and the smelt population has really came back in the last couple of years on the bay. So it's not rocket science. You know, all they do is swim and eat, so find their food and try to duplicate what the food's doing, and in turn you'll catch fish.
There's one. One bump slack in my line.
Nice.
Off he goes. Perfect. You know, with these baits, if you haven't seen them before, you know, they're really pretty cool. It looks basically like a schooling wad of bait fish that are swimming through the water. It really gets those fish fired up and they want to chase them. But one of the cool things is you can customize them any way you want. You know, right now we're running 3/8 ounce VMC boxer head jigs for our bottom 3 hooked lures there. And if you're fishing shallower water, you can run an 1/8 or a 1/16, whatever size swim bait that you want to use and put on there. You can customize it to whatever kind of situation or presentation you're finding yourself in.
There's a good one. This feels like it might be a better one.
Is it?
No, same deal. Another one, a little smaller one, but same deal, getting that speed just right. And now the funny thing is, Pat just said something too, he's got some that are just bumping it, and I had the same thing on the last few casts. The wind's starting to lay down, so they might become a little more finicky here, but we'll see what happens. What's happening back there, Pat?
Fish on, buddy.
All right.
Slowly but surely, I've kind of figured this out. It's just all in getting the speed right, letting it fall, counting it down, letting it get down into the water column, and the preferred depth of where they're eating the food. All right.
That's a dandy.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
You want a net?
I'll get him here. There we go. Oh, he just popped off. There's one of my good ones for the day. Pretty much just an average though. 4.5.
Yeah. Average here. That's a big fish wherever you go.
Yeah. Fun, fun, fun. And both Adam and I are using pretty similar setups. 7-foot, 11-inch Okuma SBX swim bait rod. This is a heavy, and it works really well for throwing a bigger, heavier bait like this. And I think Adam's using a 7-11 as well.
So I know a lot of things I've learned out on the Great Lakes smallmouth fishing. Your depth of your lures and your retrieve speed have a huge thing to do with it. It's always important to mix it up until you get that right speed so it's in the right part of the water column. A lot of these fish, you know, we're fishing in 15 to 25 feet of water, and they're all up here eating smelt and alewives right now. I mean, normally smallmouths will eat a lot of gobies on the Bay of Green Bay, but in the fall they need that real greasy, oily forage, so they've switched over to smelt, alewives. So they're actually suspended, so I'm just counting my bait down, trying to get it in that right zone where all these bass are suspended right now. And
there's one.
Pat's getting it figured out back there.
Fish on.
Very nice.
Feels like a decent one. Boat sitting in 21, 22 feet of water. We're just casting up onto the edge. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Heck yeah. There we go. You can tell this one, it's got some markings on there. What do you suppose that's from, Adam? Is that a lamprey mark?
No, they have some kind of cold water sickness that's going on, and you see those markings on some of them.
It's like some kind of a cold sore or something.
Yep.
Cool fish. Back he goes.
Fish on.
You got one too?
Yep.
Frenzy. Spot lock.
I stopped. I went to turn the trolling motor, and I just stopped drilling, and as it was falling, I felt him come up and tick it. You had me beat on size, though.
Yeah, that's a smaller one.
Just a little guy.
That's going to do it for this week's episode. Those Sturgeon Bay smallmouths definitely didn't disappoint once again. That first bass that Adam caught was probably the fattest proportioned bass I've ever seen in my life, and that was a pretty cool fish to see. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're casting these A-rigs, these umbrella rigs, there's definitely a little bit of finesse, actually, a lot of fine tuning. It took me half the day just to figure out exactly how deep to keep that bait in the water column and exactly the speed that those fish wanted it. There's definitely a lot of finesse or a lot of technique that goes into catching fish on these A-rigs. So if you're trying them out for the first time and you're not getting those bites that you want, just try changing how fast you're reeling it or how many seconds you're counting that bait down, and hopefully you can get on the pattern. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.
For more info on the latest fish reports, gear recommendations, and hottest techniques, connect with us online at indepthoutdoors.com or follow us on Facebook at In Depth Outdoors. And if you enjoyed today's show, be sure to let our sponsors know.